Hello, hello! My name is Callista, and welcome back to Pillars of Eternity. In the last episode, we were going off in search of the missing scroll for the Scriveners. However, before we even focus on that, we need to have a chat with Durance. Late last night, we witnessed, I'm not sure if it was Durance himself or a vision of Durance. It was very interesting. Your face is full of need, Durance snorts. It looks to burst if you didn't speak. I had questions I wanted to ask you.
If doubts and curiosity plague you, you're skinning your knuckles on the wrong door.
I saw something strange. You were sitting by the fire, and I saw a great light from your staff.
Tell me what you saw.
Durance is silent, staring at you, locking gazes. It was a flash like an explosion, a rushing of air, incredibly bright.
It is the light of the Godhammer you saw.
Ooh. Durance takes in each word. He's strangely silent for a moment, and when he speaks, his voice is low. The Godhammer.
It was a weapon of Deerwood's people, a symbol of their independence. It saved the Deerwood.
Oh, that's very interesting, but fuck that. I want to know something. No, we shall not do that. What do you know about it?
It brought the Saints' War to an end. Knocked a god from his perch. There are few that would deny Eothas overstepped. The Godhammer reminded Eothas of it.
Durance's voice remains low, steady, as if repeating something he's said many times before, either out loud or to himself.
You saw its light because I helped shape it, give it life, and release it into the world. Once seen, its glory is almost too bright to be believed, and too bright to be forgotten.
Durance helped build the god. Oh, that is intriguing. I'm not gonna lie. So we've heard a lot about the Godhammer, but to me at least, it feels like we're only getting half the story. You know, we've been told a lot about, the dozens. They were named because they were named after the dozen men and women who detonated the Godhammer, and they killed Eothas and all of this and t'other. But we haven't really heard anything about how the Godhammer came to be. Yes, please. I want to know everything. You helped build the Godhammer.
There were 12 of us. We fashioned the weapon, drafted plans for it, prayed for guidance at Ashfall, and it came to me there. Each of us were given a staff made from the forest of black trees around us, glowing with embers and fire far greater than this branch you see now.
So there were 12 people who detonated the Godhammer and were killed in the explosion. And there were also 12 people who made the Godhammer. I'm thinking of this, is this 12 one and the same? The people who made it and detonated it, and somehow Durance either survived or maybe wasn't there, maybe ran away. Ooh.
It felt as if the staff was Margaren's own finger, guiding my hand, guiding the other 11, the shadows of the 12 who had come to stand on the bridge to stop Eothas.
Shadows of the 12. I also saw a dozen bright circles emerging from your staff as well. Tell me about the bridge. I have other questions about the Godhammer I want to ask, but something different. Ooh. yeah, there we go. I'm like, I was thinking, I want to see the full thing of what he said. Just scroll up. Okay. There were 12 of us. We fashioned the weapon, drafted plans for it, prayed for guidance at Ashfall, and it came to me there. Each of us were given a staff made from the forest of the black trees around us, glowing with embers and fire, far greater than this branch you see now. It felt as if the staff was Magrin's own finger, guiding my hand, guiding the other 11. The shadows of the 12 who would come. Ooh, Again, I'm thinking, are these the shadows of the makers of the Godhammer, or as in we gave the Godhammer to 12 of the people? We made this explosive, but we didn't want to give our lives. We didn't want to detonate it, so we gave it to these 12 other people. And their shadows loom over us because maybe I feel guilty. You know, I was sending 12 people who maybe didn't realise what the Godhammer did. I was sending 12 innocents to their deaths. Or is this the shadows of your brothers and sisters who helped make this? I have questions. I have so many questions. Yeah, this is representative. I'm most drawn to this. Because, I also saw a dozen bright circles emerging from the staff. Well, they represent the 12 people who were involved. Shadows of the 12.
Even in that stand, there was a ritual to it. For the 12 that stood on the bridge, there were a dozen shadows cast, a dozen faithful of Magrin, her fiercest supporters and shapers of the Godhammer.
Durance rests the staff in front of him, and the flame atop it curls for a moment, the light flaring slightly. It splits into a ring of flames, one after the other, until a dozen is met.
As 12 held Aethys fast, we 12 unleashed our prayers and let the Godhammer fall.
I think, yeah. So it was a different 12. There were 12 people on the bridge, and the 12 people who made the Godhammer weren't those 12. Or at least that's how I'm... Again, let me... I'm umming and ahhing over this. I don't know how I should be reading it. Because to me, this indicates it's a different group. As 12 held Aethys fast, we 12 unleashed our prayers and exploded the bomb. So effectively, there were 12 people up there who would just be like, oh yeah, look at us, do. Meanwhile, there were a different set of 12 being like, get ready, and detonate. Like, that's how I'm reading that. Because surely that would be, as we 12 held Aethys fast, we unleashed our prayers. You're specifying two different groups of 12. Yeah, and for the 12 that stood on the bridge, there were a dozen shadows cast. So people hiding, people not present. Or not present on the bridge at least. A dozen faithful of Magrin, her fiercest supporters and shapers of the Godhammer. So he was in this second group. Or at least that's how I'm reading it. That's how I'm reading it, at least. Then it blossoms brightly, once, and resumes its candle intensity. In the aftermath, the shadows seem sharper in the vicinity, as if they have edges, and you blink to clear your vision. Durance is still staring at the tiny, candlelight flame intently.
Shadows cast by the fire of the Godhammer, perhaps. We shared their fate as well in time. Now the spine of the Deerwood is marked by the Godhammer. Marked by Magrin.
Durance frowns and moves his gaze from the staff. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm going to settle this in my mind that there were two different groups. There was the one group of 12 on the bridge who died, and then this other group who made the Godhammer but didn't actually go down with it. They detonated it, but didn't go, ooh, would Magrin like that? Would Magrin be okay with that? I don't really know much about Magrin beyond what Durance has said, but Magrin to me strikes me as a very, I give my life for Magrin. Yes, good job, buddy. Good job, my follower. Like, I don't think, from everything I've heard about Magrin, they don't seem... I'm pretty sure Magrin is a woman. But, I mean, Durance keeps calling Magrin a whore. I'm going to assume that Magrin is a woman. She seems like, okay, you've created this bomb. It's fire. I like fire. This is grand. Wait a minute. You aren't willing to go down in my holy flames? Well, fuck you. Fuck you. You have made this bomb. You go down with it. You don't pass that right onto someone else. I get the feeling that would piss Magrin off. You've made the Godhammer. I expect you to go down with it, and you haven't. Those that died in the Godhammer, we shared their fate as well in time. We ourselves didn't die, but over the years, Durance isn't... Durance was saying that the people who shaped the Godhammer were Magrin's fiercest supporters. And yet, we found you as some homeless guy on the side of the road. That isn't particularly prestigious. For someone who was one of Magrin's fiercest supporters who made the Godhammer, I would expect Durance to be leading a church of Magrin somewhere, like a high priest. And instead, you were stood in the dirt. I'm wondering here, I don't think he means a literal death. I'm thinking he's talking metaphorical. I think this is a metaphor. What do you mean, shared their fates?
Not all deaths come with stilled breath and stilled heart, or other stilled passions beneath the waste. Some deaths come from silence.
She's not having anything to do with you, is she? And that's why you call her a whore, because she stopped replying to your messages. You're like, I can see you on social media. I can see you doing shit. I can see that you're reading my messages, my texts, but you are not replying, you whore. Durance, you are not beating the incel charges. You are not beating them.
The connection we once shared with Magrin. After the light of the Godhammer, it was not the same. It was as if we'd lost our senses, and sense of purpose as well. Instead of victory being welcomed, there was silence, within and without. Not many can claim to have killed a god. It is less a heroic tale than you would think. And such a death, it changed our faith. All faiths, I expect. Doubt followed, and the world changed. I do not believe Magrin was pleased by what we had done.
Yeah, Magrin seems, from the little I know of her, she seems like the type of god who would expect her followers to want to go down in holy fire. You have built the Godhammer. I have gifted you this wonderful thing, this holy fire, and you dare reject my gift? You dare pass it on to others? Who the fuck do you think you are? Who in all the worlds do you think you are to reject my gift? Piss off. Why is that?
The world is broken, the wheel stilled. There is sickness in the world's heart. Perhaps the price of crossing a god.
Durance scratches at his pox scar, then stops and withdraws his hand, studying it, frowning.
Crossing two gods. Even as Margaret shaped our hands, perhaps we carried her will farther than was allowed. Just as Widewind did. Saint Widewind. Mortal arrogance to match mortal arrogance. Yet if the world had changed, then I sought to change with it. If I had forgotten some of Margaret's teachings, I would find them again. I would make her see me again.
So you'd made a grand gesture. Stop being such an incel. I'm sorry, this is... I found my shtick with Durance. I am just going to spend the entirety of the game accusing him of being an incel. But the game isn't proving me wrong. The game is not saying, no, he isn't an incel, Callista. He's not. I'm seeing things. He's pissed that Magran stopped responding to him. He wanted to make a grand gesture. He calls all women whores. This man is an incel. What did you do?
I remembered Margaret's teachings. How reminders on the flesh were more important than the death of a vessel. And I wondered if killing Aethys, if that had simply set him free. Had it allowed him to escape his punishment and be taken on the wheel? Like a mortal?
Durance's voice takes an odd upturn. For once, it feels like he is genuinely asking a question. He shakes his head.
As I stepped from the now blessed Godhammer Bridge, I thought of Ashfall. I thought of the War of Black Trees. Wondered if I needed to be burned to find myself again. That is Margaret at her heart. At least that is my hope. These are the doubts that befall me.
What happened when you returned to Ashfall?
The road to Ashfall is long. Gives one time to think. If you think long enough, you do not go home. I left without telling anyone, with only the robes I wore at Halgot, my staff, and my name, which is long buried. Of my fellow 11 craftsmen, disciples, I know not what happened to them, if they suffered the same doubt as I did. But it was underserved. It was wrong. We had done all that. Had asked. Grab victory from defeat and...
You feel as if your god has betrayed you. Do you feel as if you betrayed your god? Tell me what happened on the bridge. I noticed that had gone for a while and I was like, oh shit, no, we've got it back though. I have other questions about the Godhammer. I want to ask about something different. Goodbye. I mean, it's clear. It's clear that Durance feels that Magran has betrayed him. He did everything she asked. Maybe. Depends on how you look at it. But he made the Godhammer. It got set off. Aethys / Wadewin was killed. Widewin, excuse me. Like, everything kind of happened beat for beat. And then Magran turns around and goes, yeah, I'm not talking to you no more. No, thank you. Again, to me, I'm thinking it's because... I'm thinking it's because the 12 who made the Godhammer should have been the ones to detonate it. Or detonate it in person, rather. I'm giving you the secrets of my fire. I'm giving you this wonderful gift. And you rejected it. Because you weren't the ones to detonate it. I have given you this glory, and then you pass this glory off to someone else. In a way, it's like, last Christmas, I gave you my heart, And except it's like last Christmas, I gave you a bomb, and the very next day, you gave it away. And Magrin's just like, bitch, how dare? I'm thinking maybe that's what happened from Magrin's perspective. I gave you this gift, you gave it to someone else, why would I want anything to do with you? I'm hoping we can ask all of these. I want all of the opinions, because literally this is the longest Durance has gone being sincere. I feel like this is the most genuine we have ever really seen Durance. Normally he's so nasty. He's like Oghren. He's like Oghren from Dragon Age Origins. I'm just like, ew, this dirty little dwarf. I don't like him. Please stop sexually harassing Morrigan and Liliana. Please stop that. Please stop. You would sexually harass Wynne if Wynne were young, but because she's old, you ain't groping her backside. But, like, please. Stop groping Morrigan and Liliana. Why can't I pull you up on this? Durance reminds me so much of Oghren. But right now he is being so genuine. So genuine and sincere. And I'm like, yes, this is the Durance I want. This is the Durance I want. And I want to get to know him. I think this makes the most sense, given what he's saying, you know, like, oh, we had done all of that. Whore had asked, grabbed victory from defeat, and then nothing. And you feel betrayed. You feel as if your god has betrayed you.
There is something about being used and cast aside. Perhaps Widwen himself felt it. There at the end, when the hammer struck. To be the proof that your god is hollow as the vessel it inhabits. I tried to find purpose, and avoided all contact with other Magranic priests, did not seek the walls of Ashfall, and sought to make amends to my god through actions. I joined with the Purges for a time, and not long after came the first signs of the Hollowborn. So many crimes, trespasses, violations. The Salvation. Animancers were another sickness born of the Saints' War. A relapse of innovation, of desperation to heal what we had caused. All seemed worse than before the bridge, not better. And as years passed, the world became even worse still for the victory.
Maybe the Purges weren't what Magrin wanted either, rational. Now I see why you call your goddess a whore. She jilted you and you still pine for her. Clever. He's an incel. You committed atrocities and your goddess has shut you out for it. Exactly what you deserve. Passionate. It doesn't sound like your goddess will ever forgive you. Honest. It would seem Magrin's silence is your trial. Okay. I'm drawn between 1 and 5. This one, I just don't feel it. Not for Ximena. And this sounds like very goody-goody. Oh, you committed atrocities and your goddess has shut you out for it. Exactly what you deserve. Like, no. No, sounds too goody-goody. And this is... I could see Ximena saying this, but it's not to Durance. Because Durance keeps being an arsehole to women. And I don't think Ximena wants to encourage that. Jimena's like, you keep calling women whores, you've eyed me up. Don't think I've forgotten about that. You've eyed me up. I don't want to encourage this. I will happily joke around with other people about like, oh, that whore, da-da-da-da-da. Like, I'll happily joke about with other people, but not you. Not you. I think, here's the thing, you keep assuming what Magrin wants. Okay, you've given me the knowledge of the Godhammer. We've put it together. I assume you wouldn't want us, your most ardent supporters, to die, so we're going to pass this along to someone else. Oh shit, why aren't you talking to me? Why aren't you talking to me? I am going to go kill some people. I'm going to go kill some AFAsians. Are you going to talk to me yet? Are you going to talk to me? Like, well, no. You're just assuming what Magrin wants. Stop it. Maybe the purges weren't what Magrin wanted either. Sweat collects in the sooty creases of his forehead and runs down his ruddy cheeks. It drips from the tip of his nose. His mouth moves, but his utterances make no sound. He is, for once, at a loss. Feeling your gaze, he quickly composes himself, wiping his forehead with the back of a dirty hand.
Worship the whims of some fickle bitch, and you'll never be more than dirt beneath her feet. Worship what she worships, on the other hand. Take her fire for your own, and her esteem comes on its own. Of course, by that time, you no longer need it. Trial and transformation, sure as Durance taught.
May, you can't neg a god. You can't neg a god. Maybe negging is the wrong word for this. Because I don't think Magrin gives a shit about some, bellend calling her a whore. But it's... Rather than making it up to Magrin, rather than apologising, instead, I'm gonna take her shit, and that will obviously make her go, oh, he took my shit. Oh, Durance is great. Durance, that's not gonna work. That's not how women work. 2, that's just not how people work. That's just not how people work, mate. You're being a tit. Durance glares at you, and staring into his eyes gives you the feeling of peering over the edge of a great cliff.
You think to put the coals to my feet, but what's burned once will never burn again. These talks are your trial, Watcher. You cannot deflect the truth to one who has already been purified by it.
Mate, you haven't. You haven't. Your head's up your arse. Mate. You are... You are severely confused. Also, I do note, we don't have that other option. You feel like you betrayed your god. Here's the thing, this is his companion quest. Generally speaking, again, I'm going off of games like Dragon Age Origins. Generally speaking, most companion quests can go like a number of different ways. I'm curious. I'm curious about the end goal for Durance. Please don't answer that. I'm just kind of speaking out loud here. I'm curious about how all of this is gonna end up. Tell me what happened on the bridge. We chose the bridge because we could control it. Durance's hands tighten at the top of the staff, as if holding it by the neck. It was a place where we could choke Aethys in his own footsteps, where we knew his feet would fall, a narrow neck of stone. But it was more than that. It was the spine of the deerwood, symbolic of its backbone. Such symbols are important in the construction of a weapon. Durance studies his staff, his eyes travelling along the etchings. Any weapon. Durance's face hardens and his eyes burn, his eyebrows narrowing. I suspect Aethys knew that as well, and so did his vessel in its arrogance. His hands tighten on the staff. He intended to walk upon the bridge as if walking on the back of the deerwood. And we intended to burn him with the light of our faith, and his, 12 on the bridge, 12 in the shadow, and gave ourselves to it. Gave yourselves to it.
We put much of ourselves into the Godhammer. Such a device is not simply a machine. There are elements of the spirit in it, even Widewind's spirit.
Elements of the spirit. Widewin. Why? I mean, I would assume to make it more effective against him. It was designed to kill Widewin. Elements of the spirit.
Each of the 12 who brought the Godhammer forth would have done anything to save the Deerwood, save its people. It is why we were chosen. Each of us hated this pretender. That rage, that spirit, that rebellion went into our work, and went into studying him as well.
So my timer has just gone off. I guess this is going to be a talky episode. Durance had a lot to say, and I had a lot to say on everything he said. Widewin, why?
We all studied Widewin. He was our enemy, and he had provided the flesh the god wore as a cloak. That flesh made him vulnerable. I knew what fields his hands had tilled, his family, what he had harvested, where he had been born. We sought to know him, what had led him to fight us.
Why was that important?
You don't kill the god. You kill the man it inhabits. And you leave that man a ruin. Burn him to ash. The weapon was meant to not only burn his flesh, but it would burn his soul. And it did. At the cost of our own. And at the cost of our goddess's favor. That whore be damned.
It sounds as if you fell victim to your own weapon. Is that why your image was blurred in the dream? I have other questions about the Godhammer I want to ask about something different. I mean... yes, so his soul was burned. His soul was burned. I would imagine that is what, yeah. It sounds as if you fell victim to your own weapon.
Perhaps your eyes were blinded by the truth of the Godhammer, Watcher. I feel half a man at times, but even that is twice that of most others. If you fear for my spirit, your fears are baseless. The Godhammer, seeing its light, only fueled my anger and made me stronger, made me re-examine the teachings of Margaret, put them in a new light.
Yeah, Durance shakes his head, but there is a tension in it. He's flushing red because we're getting at him. We're picking at the truth of it. It looked as if there was only part of you. As if your spirit had been sheared in half.
I do not need you to cast any more questions on me, Watcher. Nor did I ask you to look upon me without my leave. Get gone, and leave me be.
And there... Durance is saying, piss off. Piss off, I'm done talking. Fair play. Fair play. I am out of time for this episode. We haven't moved. We haven't moved. Oh well. Oh well. Now then, let's see. Where was I up to? I believe... I want to say... Yes, I had just read Narsitarch poetry. So, animancy in the modern age. Animancy is a science both respected and reviled, sometimes by the same person. For all the research done on the topic, we still know so little. Control over life itself. Some animancers have been working towards for hundreds of years. There are no real records of how the practice of animancy was first discovered. But once the spark of knowledge ignited, there was no stopping its inevitable discoveries. In 2260 AI, animancers, as a result of their extensive research, successfully contained and transferred a soul. The subject of the experiment, whose name is unknown, was young and wealthy, but infirm. The idea was to move his soul from the dying body and into that of a recently deceased man who had suffered an accident. The new body, bearing only slight decay, would house the soul, giving the man a much better life. The outcome of this experiment resulted in the condemnation and outlaw of animancy in the Adirian Empire. Again, while we have no true records of what happened, as they were all destroyed after animancy was outlawed, a journal was discovered, a makeshift confession by one of the participants. Excerpts from that journal follow. 2260 AI, Von Prima 16. It is done, and the gods forgive us for our arrogance. I am not sure what I was expecting, certainly not that. But what did any of us expect? Still, beyond the revulsion, there is a sense of pride, something I can't deny. All the research, the studying, everything we worked for. We thought we'd changed the world. How it's changed. All was in place, the twisted form lying on the table next to its new vessel. The equipment had been prepared, the tinctures and potions all carefully crafted, every detail painstakingly organised to ensure success. We most assuredly succeeded. The procedure went exactly as it should. The soul, extracted from the old body, held, bound in place to prevent it from moving on. Then the next step, transfer to the fresh vessel. It was beautiful and terrifying. I listened as they spoke the words of binding. I watched the soul move. Not the soul itself, of course, but the vapour we used to detect it. As it lowered into the vessel, a gentle luminescence covered the body, and then nothing. Silence. Darkness. I held my breath, afraid that even the slightest disturbance would destroy all our hard work. Then motion. Then, dear gods, then blood. How did I survive? I do not know. The vessel rose from the slab, and the room breathed. Every person crowded around the table exhaled. Some cheered. We had made life from death. We had become eternal. The body closed its eyes and tilted its head, looking for all purposes to be listening for something, or to it. Then its eyes popped open and it moved. Its lips peeled back from its teeth in a horrible expression of fury. It fell on the nearest man, tearing his throat, knocking him to the ground. Then the room erupted into screams, shouts, and a flurry of bodies running, pushing, doing everything in their power to get away from the creature sitting on their colleague. But right before that happened, in the split second before the chaos, when there was nothing in the air but a stunned, terrified silence, I heard it, sitting there on his chest, face at his neck. And it was feasting. Oh, damn! I like that one. I like that one. That was good. That was very, very good. Oh, flippin' heck. And on that spine-chilling note, I will bring an end to this session right here. In the next one, maybe we will go and help out the Scriveners. Maybe. I do apologise that this was a more talky episode, but Durance had a lot to say. Durance had a lot to say, and I had a lot of opinions on it, so, yeah, that happened. But, until the next episode, please remember to like if you enjoyed, leave a comment below, and if you wanted to subscribe, it would be very much appreciated. A special thanks to my channel members, such as SM2K, Christopher K. Davis, CGG, and Kevin Bicknell. I've been Callista. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next episode.